Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Ajulam here. Thank you so much for stopping by, and if this is your first time of coming across my channel, please subscribe and turn on the bell icon so that you get to know anytime I put up a new video. So for today's tutorial, I will quickly share with you how to make a simple ball gown with ribbon for a 1-year-old baby girl. So if you're interested, keep on watching. Have all the things needed for this project. This is my net, this is the satin and the lining, this is my ribbon, and this is beads that I'll be using. So I will start with the upper part. So for the upper part, as you can see, I have my line already as a guide. The bodice length is 7 inches, but we're making it 8. One is for seam allowance. Okay, so the shoulder is 8 inches, and half of that is 4, which is here. Then I'll come down by ½ inch, which is the shoulder slope. So for the neck width, I'll be using 2¼ okay. I'm going to rush this because you should be familiar with this by now if you're a returning subscriber. I'm repeating this for the first timers. So for the armhole, I'll be using 3 inches. That is for the armhole. So I'll fix in the shoulder, which is 4. Then I'll connect. After that, I'll determine the midpoint, which is 1½, and that is here. So I'll come in by 3/4 inch, which is here as well. Okay, so this is the chest line. So on this line now, I will determine the chest measurement, which is 20. 20 divided by 4 is 5. And this is 5 here. Plus 1 inch for my seam, 6. So now I will connect it. So I will connect it. If you don't have this, you can use your free hand to do that. And so guys, please, I want to ask for a little favor. Please don't skip the ad. That is the only way I will get paid from YouTube for this. So please don't skip any ad. So now the next thing is the waist. The waist is 20 inches as well. So I will still make it 5 plus 1 inch for seam. That is 6. And I will connect. It's as simple as that. So for the neckline, you can decide what to use. Okay, for me, I like using simple round neck for little babies. So I'll use 2 inches here, and I'll connect. After which, I'll use the same pattern to cut out the back. After that, I'll now do the alteration needed for the back side. So this is how it is. Let me just cut it out. So for the back, I'll just remove 1 inch for zipper allowance. So this is 1 inch. I'll mark that all the way down and I'll connect it. After connecting it, I'll now use the front and pin it on this pattern. Okay, so let me pin it first. So this is what I have after pinning it. So I'll connect this line to a straight line so that you don't get confused. So now this is the straight line. Okay, so for the back now, I'll be using, that is the back neckline, I'll use ½ inch, which is this point here, and then I'll connect it from that point. Okay, so this is the back neckline. So now I will cut it out with this same shape because I want this shape to be at the back as well, though this is really optional. So I will just cut it out and I'll come up by ½ inch for the back pattern. Let me just cut it. Like I was saying, here I will come up by ½ inch and I'll connect it to this point so that by the time I join the front and the back, one will not be longer than the other. So I will just cut it and make sure it meets that point there, like so. So now I'll place this on my main fabric and then I'll cut it out. The down part here, I have 2 yards of net. Okay, 2 yards and some inches. So now I'll just cut out the length. Okay, I'll fold this now into 4. As you can see, this is 2 here, this is 2 here, making it 4. So as you can see, I've folded it into 4. I will also fold it over again to make it easier for me to cut without stress. So this is it. So now the length of this dress is 18 inches. So the minus the bodice length from the full length, and we'll have 11 inches. Okay, so now I'll mark out 11 inches. Okay, I want to remove this. I don't want this part to come in. Okay, so now I'll mark out 11 inches plus half inch for seam. That is 11 and half. So this is 11 and half here. Okay, I'll mark that and I'll cut as many as these 2 yards can give me, because I want it to be a little fluffy. So I'll just cut it like this, as many as I can. Then the one that will be on top is where I'll fix in the ribbon. So now this is the first one. So for these other ones, I'll be making them 11 inches on the dot, because I don't want them to be peeking out by the time I join with the part that will have the ribbon, which is the outer one. So all these ones now, I'll make all of them 11 inches and I will now cut them out. I'm done cutting them out. These 4 here are the ones that I did 11 inches on the dot, while this particular one is 11 and a half. This is where I'll be fixing in the ribbon. So before that, let me show you how to cut out the satin. So this is it. I have 1 yard of satin here. So I'll be cutting out this in a flare form, because I don't want the dress to be too stuffy for the girl. So here I have 1 inch on the dot. So now I'm going to fold it the same way you fold your fabric when making a circle dress. So as you can see, I've folded it. I use a half circle pattern for this. It's in a triangle shape now. So now I'll mark out what I'll be using for the waist. The waist measurement is 20 inches. Okay, so I will divide that by 6.28 and it will give me 3. Then I'll multiply that by 2, giving me 6. Okay, so I'll now mark out 6. Okay, but I'll be adding 1/4 inch to this because of my seam. So that will be 6.25, which is this point here. So I'll mark that out. This is 6.25. After which, for this satin, I'll be using 11 inches as well, so that by the time I fold the hem area, I'll end up having 10 or 9.5, which is still okay. So I'll mark out the length, which is 11 inches, after which I will now fold it. Out the satin. So now I'll open it up like this. Okay, this is where I'll be fixing this net. Like I said, I have 4 pieces here. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of these, I'll be joining it with this one that I'll be fixing the ribbon together. So I'll keep it separate. What I have left now is 3. So I'll now mark out the 3 lines where I will join these ones before the other one. So now what I will do, I'll mark out 1 inch from the waist, or say 1.5, because half inch here already is for my seam. So I'll mark out 1.5 here. Okay, I will mark this all round because this is the line that I'll be joining, adding all these nets before the last one. So let me just mark it out. So this is it. So I will now check what I have from this line to here. This is 9.5. Okay, but I'm making it 10 because half inch will go in when sewing. So all these ones here, these three now, I'll make them 10 inches so that by the time I finish, I'll not end up having a very long dress. So now I'll reduce this, just 1 inch is what I'll be removing from here. After that, I'll now gather it and join before I will now show you how to fix in the ribbon. And I'll be adding the ribbon. So I will start with this first line. This is the hem area. So now I will take this and I will just sew in between this, on top of this, like this. I'll just place it like this and I'll sew. So this is the line after sewing. When doing this particular area, make sure you take your time so that your ribbon doesn't slip off. So the next thing now is to determine how many inches wide you want your ribbon from each other. So for this, I think 2 inches is very okay for me. Okay, like I said, this is 2 inches. So I will now give that point a notch, and I will give the same notch on the other end as well. Then I will now sew my ribbon on that line, making sure to maintain the 2 inch till you finish sewing the ribbon. So this is the second line. I'll repeat the same thing for the last one, which is the third line. I'll also use the same 2 inches wide to do that. So let me do it first. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, it's already looking beautiful. So now I'll take it and give it a good press, after which I'll now gather it and join it with my satin. So this is the first three that I joined together. So now I will sew it on this line, after which I will now take, remember these two, and I will sew this one exactly on the waist area, after which I will now join with the upper part. So guys, this is what I have after joining it. As you can see, is already fluffy. I've not even added the hard net. It's already looking very okay. So now the next thing to do is, for the upper part, I'll only join the neckline. So for the upper part, this is it. I'll just join the shoulders together, and I'll do the same on the lining, after which I will now sew only the neckline to enable me fix the beads on these roses. Okay, so let me just join it. So as you can see, I've joined only the neckline. The armhole, I'll do that later. Now I will fix in the beads one after the other inside the roses like this. If you have all the time, you can do all the roses. Aside from these ones that you close, you make sure you put it inside so that as you're closing, it will not be a problem. So this is it. I will take one. This is my needle, so I will just take one and I'll start from this shoulder point here in the middle like this. Okay, and I'll put the bead and I'll pass it through. Remember, the lining is separate so that by the time you close, the lining will not cover all the mess. Okay, so now I will pull it and I will tighten it up here, after which I will continue the same process until I fix in all the beads in the spaces. Okay, so this is how it's going to look. Okay, it will add a little spice to this upper part. So now let me just do the remaining. after fixing the bits. So now I will close the armhole and I will join the down part. So this is what I have after joining it with the upper part. As you can see, it's already looking beautiful. So the next thing to do now is to add my lining with the hard net. And for the zip, you can check out my video on how to fix an invisible zip to a ball gown, and you get to see how to do all that. So guys, that is it for today. I hope you were able to grab one or two things from today's tutorial. So please subscribe if you have not, and don't forget to turn on the bell icon so that you get to know anytime I upload a new video. So guys, see you soon.